Hi, today it's all about identity and personality. Now, we will see what is an identity slash personality, how some philosophers explained it, how to achieve this identity according to them, what makes an identity in my opinion, and we'll finish up with a quick conclusion. Now, before I begin, if you were a Moroccan baccalaureate student, I think you'll know where I'm going with this. And it sucks they didn't put the human situation in the philosophy finals. Without any more distractions, let's get into it. To understand what is an identity or personality, I think it will be best for us to understand the human situation. Well, we need to define it first. Now, the human situation is a philosophical field that has the interest of studying humans in a philosophical manner. Of course, it studies people from a self side and from a I don't know what to call it, but let's call it interacting with other selves side. Which brings us, what are people? What is a person? Well, the simplest explanation is a person comes from the Latin word persona, not personified. But persona refers to the mask that every human wears in front of other humans. Right now, I'm wearing the mask of a YouTuber. When I'm with my parents, I wear the mask of a good son. When I'm in college, I wear the mask of a college student. You get the point. But there are exceptions to people who don't possess personas. First, the infant. A baby doesn't understand what's going on. They don't comprehend what is around them, nor do they even know what is a person. So they can't possess personas yet. Second case, the mentally ill. For example, dementia. It makes people forget, behave in a violent manner despite not harboring ill will, and they can't judge rationally. And finally, the slave. They're not even allowed to possess a persona because they are simply a product, a machine, properties of other people. We can also define a person as a mature, aware self that takes ethical and legal responsibilities of their behavior and action. Now, people possess personalities or identities. But what's an identity? It's what makes everyone unique in their own way. It's the individuality of a human. That's why something like astrology or MBTI personalities are not accurate enough. Because individuality is a far complex subject, and we can't just label someone something. Because what if that person fell ill? You see, there are a lot of factors that can change these labels. So that's why we need something more accurate. Sadly, I don't think we can know yet, but with people in psychology and philosophy who does their best, I'm optimistic. Now, to understand what makes an identity, we need to understand two main ideas, stability and change. Because some philosophers said that personality is stable, some others say that it changes with time. And every philosopher explained their claims with their own unique way. Let's start with the stability philosophers. First off, we have Descartes, a French mathematician and philosopher. And now I get off track. This man spews garbage. He's illogical and I hate him so much. Okay, so he says that personality is stable. It doesn't change. And what makes a personality is the ability of thinking. If a human thinks, he exists, and by existence, he means it by identity. And from his quote, I doubt, I think, therefore I am, the I amness is related to thinking, and thinking can only exist with doubting. John Locke also says that identity is stable, but identity isn't made by thinking, because he argues that there are people who can't think, like the mentally ill or infants, because they can't think rationally. So you can't just say they don't have identities, which means there is another factor that makes who they are, and that is consciousness. From his quote, that personal identity, that is the sameness of a rational being, consists in consciousness alone, as far as this consciousness can be extended backwards to any past action or thought, so far reaches the identity of that person. Now, if you got confused, here is a simple explanation. The person that has consciousness and memory possesses an identity. Consciousness because you are aware of your actions, and memory because you can remember the past. If you want to know more, you can read his essays. To be quite frank, I've always found John Locke quite confusing. That's a very informative essay, Ozane. And lastly, we have Arthur Schopenhauer. He disagrees with both of these clowns because he says not everyone can think and not everyone is conscious, because some people have Alzheimer and other mental ills that can make you forget. And by that logic, we can't say that they don't have a personality, so he comes up with something way better. Now he also says that personality is stable, so he bases the foundation of identity on something that is also stable, and that is the will to live. Schopenhauer argued that the will to live is the driving force behind all human actions, desires, and motivations. It is an innate and relentless striving for self-preservation and individual survival. This will to live is not limited to physical survival, but encompasses all aspects of human existence, including our desire for happiness, success, love, and recognition. And now, let's get to changeable identities. First, we have Sigmund Freud. He says the personality changes, and he explains it with his three concepts: id, ego, and superego. The id represents our desires and instincts. It could be desires of food or drinking. It could be sexual desires or maybe violence, any desire that humans have. And this id doesn't acknowledge religion or ideologies or values or whatever. The superego is the opposite. It represents values, religious, personal, or social values. And finally, the ego. It represents the middle ground within the id and the superego. It serves both of them, and it balances the wants of the id and the superego. So the personality of a person changes because there is a constant fight between the id and the superego. Also, we have Jules Lachelier. He's approaching his claims also from a psychological perspective, and he says that identity is formed from mood and memory. Everyone has swinging mood. In a minute you might be your calm self, the next minute you might be sad or angry depending on the mood. Your personality changes. Your identity of the calm self isn't the same as the identity of the angry self or sad self or any other mood. And memory plays the role of connecting the past with the present. The best example is sleep. Before you sleep, you are someone. When you wake up, there is a slight change within yourself, even by 0.1%, because you might forget something from yesterday, a small detail or anything. And finally, we have Ralph Linton. In a nutshell, he says that personality is formed from society. All actions, values, traditions, culture, ethics, and customs of society influences the personality of individuals. The best example I can give is social media. Yes, it's not a society in real life, but a lot of young people are influenced by it, to the point that they lost their sense of self. They became what social media told them to be. Now, all of these philosophers that I mentioned, some had good points, some not so good. And when I thought about it, it hit me. First thing we need to know is that everything changes. Everything is relative at life, which means a personality can change. Second of all, we need a good metric. Something like memory or thinking is not a good metric. One small mental illness and it would change that. Something like society is also not a good metric. It may be true to some extent. There are antisocial people. They can't be influenced by society. But they also have personalities. Something like the will to live is also of a bit of a dangerous metric. Some people are suicidal, but that doesn't mean they don't have an identity. So what is a good metric here? Last year, when I was studying philosophy back in high school, I've thought about it and I realized the personality changes, but it can change in seconds. The things that makes a personality are two values, honor and dignity. Both of them are related, and what affects them are actions. If I did something good, both of these values will go up, therefore getting close to being a good person. If it goes down, I did something bad, which means I'll become a bad person. And I'm not talking only big actions, I'm also talking about small actions like cleaning your room or not being absent to school, stuff like that. The only time that honor and dignity goes to zero is when someone is dead or when they are babies. Babies are not aware of their environment, and also they are ignorant about values, so they can't form a personality yet. And dead people, because they've become more than flesh and bones, they're not bound by the complexity of the universe. They are free. In conclusion, we can say that identity and personality are a complex concept. What makes them is something that we cannot find it yet. I may be wrong, these philosophers may be wrong, but all of us can be correct in some aspects. We may find it in the future, but for now, let us enjoy our lives. Thank you for watching. It took me a while to make this. It's probably one of my longest videos I've ever made so far, and I hope that you guys understood something and aren't bored or something like that. If I spread misinformation about someone or something, let me know. And if you agree or disagree, comment down below. Well, sayonara, my people.